Good evening and welcome to the Formula Racing League. This is Tier 1. We are at the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez in Mexico City in Mexico. Round 9 takes us to this track for the first of the last 3 races of the season. And a track where Smalley could clinch the title providing he finishes in the top 4. That would be enough to guarantee him his second FRL championship. So even with the numbers we have at the moment, there are 14 drivers, but it looks as though we are still going to be doing the full quali. Do let me know how you are as well. Do get involved in the live chat. Let me know who you're rooting for, who you're supporting, what your predictions are, and do make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. So as far as the championship is concerned, Smalley has an 108-point lead with 126 left on the table. As I've already mentioned, should he finish in the top 4, he will be crowned champion. Now, if there are going to be 14 drivers only taking part, we shouldn't have any drivers being eliminated at the end of qualifying. I'm not sure how many of them will decide to head out on track. Lezard is not around tonight for Ferrari, so he's confirmed that he's out of the championship hunt. Argent's in though. Murphy is still in there, as is Rome's Republic mathematically. And we've got one of the McLarens heading out of the track, that's De Rudiger. So De Rudiger, who joined as a late entry this season. In some, although not quite achieving the results that he perhaps should have been getting, despite qualifying rather well, particularly in Singapore, in fact. Of course, he didn't get to the end of the race on that one, so we're hoping for better luck here in Mexico. So just a rundown on the calendar, we go to Mexico, which we are now. Then we go to Azerbaijan in a week's time, and the season will conclude at the brand new Portimao circuit in Portugal, which is something I think a lot of the drivers are very much looking forward to. And Roman's just got his happy day, so we are expecting a drive later on. There are 5 more cars out on circuit. The 2 Haas's of Rome's Republic and Leppi, the Red Bull of Pimis, the Ferrari of Night Shadow, and the Alpine of Smalley. Big Boss Bells is in the Williams tonight. He is substituting for Dixon, who isn't around. Murphy retires from the session. I think with there being 14 involved, I don't think anyone's going to get eliminated by the end of this, but they can get eliminated if they crash out on the circuit. That's the only difference. They shouldn't do, though. Rudiger will just want to get a lap on the board and then head back to the pit lane. So Smalley's just on his out lap. He's not going for a run. Top 15 score points as well. Top 15 finishes, that is. We only have 14 involved this evening. So De Rudiger through the baseball section. Or the baseball stadium, I should say. It's going to come round now to post the first lap of the session, 1 minute 15.2, which is not too bad indeed. Rome's Republic is next, and then we'll go to Leppi. So Rome's Republic has posted some rather quick times during practice. It's posted a 1:16.1 for his first effort. Leppi's had his lap invalidated, so we'll go to Pimis. who's next behind in the Red Bull. Nearly lost it actually by riding over those curves. So over the line, it's a 1:16.3. It's not his best lap time. I'd expect there to be more for him. Night Shadow's lap time has been invalidated, so he's going to go for another run. Zach is also out on circuit in the Haas. So in the Red Bull, I should say. I don't know why I said Haas there. So Davidovic is not around tonight. Neither is Lezard or Dixon or Paskov. Beko is serving a race ban for resetting to the track twice during the last round at Singapore. And Night Shadow just gone past there. I think his lap time's already invalidated, so he's going to have to go again if he wants to do another lap. He doesn't need to at the moment, though. So Zach making his way through turn 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11. He's exceeded shot limits. So he backs up of this lap. Who else is on a flying lap at the moment? Night Shadow has gone for another run. Berry out on circuit as well in the Alfa Romeo. Night Shadow's used a lot of his ERS though. So he's going to have to make do with using the DRS only. And TK will take up the Mercedes, so we are up to 15 runners in this session. Not enough to have a driver to be eliminated at the end of it. And Night Shadow's third lap time has been invalidated, so I think this will be him off into the pit lane. Go back to Bowie though, who started a flying lap now. Posted some decent times during practice as well. Did the Brits. Rear wing open. And he should be in the 27s for the first sector. He's only in the 28s for this one. Leffy's posted a 1:22.8. Oh, and Berry spun it! Oh, he's very, very lucky. He's ripped off his front wing, but that was very nearly the end of his session. So he'll get back to the pits. Very, very lucky there to go nose first, softly into the barrier there. So Leffy's going quicker than before through sector 1. Three-Falls Bell stays out of the way. And Leppy is 5 seconds up from before by sector 2, so he's on course for a 1:17 here. Does he find any time in the last sector? It was rather smooth through that. Probably taking a bit too much curb. It's a 1:16.6. So that's a decent time there for the Hungarian. And Zach, oh, he very nearly dropped it. He's carrying on his way though. Mikey's also going through the stadium section. In fact, he's exceeded shot limits somewhere, so he backs out of it and goes for another run. Here's Zach. He's going through turn 16 and 17. And his lap time of his is a 1:15.5. That puts him second behind De Rudiger. So 9 minutes to go in Q1. As I've only mentioned, no one is set to be eliminated. There's one of the Williams going through, that'll be Mikey. So what can he do through sector 2? He is low on fuel at the moment, and he's exceeded shot limits again. So Mike's going to have to back out of it and head for the pits for more fuel. So no one's improving at the moment. So Night Shadow, who's on a fast lap in the Ferrari. And that's a rebel off onto the grass there. I think that would have been... I think that's Zach that's just dropped it. .57.4 at this stage in the lap. Entering the last turn. 1 minute 17.0. And he posts the slowest of all the time so far. Here's TK in the Mercedes. Does he stay within the limits? He does so through there. It's a 57.0 by sector 2. And now he's makes his way through turn 12 and then through 13, 14, 15 and then 16. And then the sweeping right-hander of 17 to bring an end to the lap. 1 minute 16.1 for him. Goes in front of Leppy and Night Shadow. And Big Boss Bells is making his way in. And Liam has now joined the lobby. So we are now up to 16 in the lobby. There could be a few more joining later. But Big Boss Bells will just want to get this lap in. Some form of time anyway. So with Liam now joining, we have 16 drivers involved, but it looks as though that Dan Murphy isn't going to be heading out on circuit at all because he's already retired from the session. So it looks as though we've already got our eliminated driver there anyway. And it could well be Smalley joining if there's another driver making up the lobby of 17. So Liam should be taking up the AlphaTauri seat. As Burry makes his way through. This is where he lost it last time. Keeps it on track this time around. 57.1 by sector 2. It's a nice line through 13. Maybe a little bit too much curb at the entry of 16. Takes the shorter route to the line. It's a 1:16.6 for Burry, so he goes into P6 for now. Argent over the line for Mercedes, and he goes second with a 1:15.3, so just over a tenth away from De Rudiger's Q1 fastest lap time. And one of the McLarens has gone spinning there. Is that Liverpool fan? I think it is, because he's just spun and hit the barrier. And that is his session over. And yes, I have just seen that Liverpool fan has crashed out on the exit of turn 11, so that is his qualifying session over. Night Shadow and Big Boss Bells retiring in the pits. So Liverpool fan will be joining Dan Murphy on the sidelines at the end of Q1. faster than that from before. Goes back up to P6 with a 1:16.1. So Liam coming around to complete some form of lap. Or it may just be his out lap, actually. And Leppy's just begun a lap now as well in the Haas. So we've got just over 3 minutes left. Hopefully won't lose any other drivers crashing out between now and the checker flag for this session. I wonder if Berry may be on another flying lap now. He'll be going back into the pits. And at the end of this one, Mikey's on his out lap as well. So once Liam... Oh, he nearly dropped it. Giving it all up though. 56.7 for him as he enters turn 12. And Liam rounding the last turn here. And it's a 1:15.7 for him. And Leppy, who's on a fast lap time before, he goes up to 5th actually with a 1:16.0. So Mikey is the next one, could well be the last driver to set a lap time here. Safdar is still in the pits, but he's pretty much safe now into Q2. Rearing open. Mikey's on a 56.8 by sector 2. And Mikey over the line goes 6th with a 1:16.1. So it's very close actually between Leppy in 5th and TK in 10th. So there's about a 10.5 difference between the two. So once Mikey makes his way back to the pits, we should get Q2 underway very, very shortly. So the only two drivers we're going to be losing are Liverpool Fan and Murphy. Mikey will just want to get back to the pits as quickly as he can. Just got to make sure he doesn't crash out on circuit though, because otherwise that will mean he will be out of qualifying with his car wrecked. But he's back in the pits now. So at the end of that session, we lose two drivers. They are Liverpool Fan and Dan Murphy. Liverpool Fan, as he crashed out on circuit, and Dan Murphy never got out of the pits and set a lap time. So the top 14, including Smalley and Safdar, go through to Q2. We'll be back in a moment. So we lose the next slowest 4 drivers at the end of Q2. Just a little bit of history about the Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. Smalley decides to opt out of qualifying, which is interesting. Don't know whether he wants to just start at the back for the race. It would mean he won't be qualifying on pole and get that championship point. So we lose Smalley already. Who's that out on circuit? I think that might be De Rudiger. So he's the first one out on track, as he was so in Q1. And it's on a set of mediums. So we're going back to what I was saying about the Autodromo Jimenez Rodriguez. You may have heard on the tannoy that the first ever Grand Prix to be held on this track was in 1962, of which the race was won between Trevor Taylor and Jim Clark for Lotus. But the first Grand Prix to be held as part of the Formula 1 World Championship would have been the following year, where Jim Clark won the Grand Prix at the circuit that was then known as the Magdalena Mixed Hookah, before it was named as the Jimenez Rodriguez, named after the late brothers of Pedro and Ricardo Rodriguez. 20 times the circuit has hosted a Formula 1 World Championship Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen have won twice at this track, as is Alan Prost. He's won twice, but no one has won in Mexico in Formula 1 3 times in their careers. And not to mention, the Grand Prix itself is now known as the Mexico City Grand Prix, rather than the Mexican Grand Prix. But there have been rumours in the past about another Grand Prix in Mexico coming to the Formula 1 calendar as early as 2024 in somewhere called Cancun, or somewhere like that. And De Rudiger's had his lap time invalidated, so we may as well come away from him. And we'll go to Rome's Republic next. Mexico City is expected to stage its Grand Prix on the 31st of October. So we're not far away from that now. I think by this point, Formula 1 will have known whether it had been safe enough or not to go to Mexico City. I believe it's still on UK's travel red list. It is still on the UK's red list, is Mexico. But after Mexico, anyway, team personnel will be heading straight to Brazil. So it could well be that heading back to the UK won't matter as much, but Mexico will be part of the triple header with Brazil and Qatar that had been announced as Australia's replacement for this season. So Rome's Republic has invalidated his lap time as well, so he'll be going again. Here's Pimis in the Red Bull. He's on the soft compound. So is he going to be taking a place in Q3 here? We know Smalley won't be. It's a 1:15.8 for Pimis. So Liam has had his lap time invalidated as well. Rome's Republic has already exceeded track limits again on his second effort, so he may as well back out of it. Here's TK in the Mercedes coming down the back straight. There are 3 DRS zones around this track. One at between turns 11 and 12, with the detection point just after turn 9, and the other two DRS zones are determined by the detection point on the exit of turn 15 or at turn 15. So even if you don't get in front by turn 1, you've got a chance to do so at turn 4. Now what is TK going to accomplish here? He takes a wide line into 16. And he'll be going over the line. Oh, he's hit the wall! TK has hit the barrier, would you believe it? Trying to take the shorter route to the line, and it completely backfired him. That is a big, big shunt there for TK, and he's not going any further in qualifying. I mean, that shocked me as much as anything. But he goes no further in qualifying, and he's out. So Zach's just posted a 1:15.9 in the Red Bull. So TK actually caught the curb and just lost control before he got to the line and just hit the pit wall head on. That was a very nasty hit. So Lepi in the Haas, going over the line to post a 1:16.5. Good enough to put him up to 4th. I think Night Shadow may be on a flying lap. Is there anyone else on a flying lap anywhere around? Now Liam going over the line on the medium compound, 1 minute 16.1. It's really good. On another lap for McLaren. Where could he end up by the end of this session? And he's on the medium, so he'll want to try and get in front of Liam, Mikey and Night Shadow, most certainly. He tried to get through to Q3 on the mediums, but couldn't do so in Singapore. So he knows how important this lap will be. And with TK and Smalley already out of qualifying, he's now got a good chance of bagging in place in Q3 on the mediums. So around in the last turn, Rudiger does not make the same mistake as what TK did, and he goes 4th. So just let's see who else is on an outlap. Well, Don Argent's yet to get a lap on the board. He's coming into turn 13 now. So Don Argent crossing over the line. Could be one of those that could deprive Smalley of the championship today. I mean, even a victory may not be enough to keep his title hopes alive. And even if it was to get the maximum score of pole position, fastest lap and race win points, a 4th place finish for Smalley would still see the Scot come away as the champion for the 2nd time in the FRL. And Don Argent's made a mistake through the S's, and so he's backed off on his lap. So we'll go to Rowan's Republic next in the Haas. He's just going through turn 5. Rearing open on the Haas. 56.5 by sector 2. He's on the soft compound there, is the man from Slovakia. So it goes over the line, and he posts the fastest time of Q2 with a 1:15.7. Don Argent going for another lap in the Mercedes. Jack Berry's also out on track in the Alfa Romeo. He's just going through turn 4 and 5 now. So we'll go to him in a moment. So in the bottom 4, we've got Sufdart, TK, Big Boss Bells and Berry. So Smalley may still get into Q3 technically, but should Berry set a lap time, Smalley will be out of qualifying. So Argent in the Mercedes makes his way through the baseball stadium. Going over the line to 1:16.1 for him. He goes 5th behind Liam. That should still see him through with that, if I'm honest with you. Berry over the line for Alfa Romeo, only 10th with a 1:18.0. I wonder if he did the first up without using his overtake, so we'll see how he gets on this time with overtake. So rear wing open. What lap time are we going to be seeing here? He's a second up already, so this is a much better time from Berry than it was last time around. Just about kept his car within the chat limits as well. Berry was quite lucky. So, can he find enough time in the last sector? He wants to find, I think, probably 4 more tenths in the last sector. He needs a good exit coming out of here. 1:16.0 goes 4th. That's a nice lap, that, from Berry, with over 2 minutes remaining. So your drivers in the bottom 4 are Smalley, Sufdart, TK and Big Boss Bells. But Big Boss Bells is on track in the Williams. He was in the Alpine last week. And Sufdart decides that he's not going for a lap. So the driver at risk is Night Shadow, who has just started what probably will be his last attempt. So we should expect a much better lap from him. A 1:17.5. I doubt we'll get him through, because we know what Big Balls' lap time is like. Normally, lap times should be. So Big Boss Bells has started the flying lap now. Berry should be going back into the pits at the end of this lap. So if Night Shadow and Big Boss Bells do find good enough times, that could put Leppy out of qualifying. And Shadow is 9 tenths up from before. He could go in front of Leppy with the lap he's about to do. Just missed the apex slightly through 13th. Turn 16 was sweet. It's a 1:16.5 for him. But he stays behind Leppy, so he's at huge risk now, is Night Shadow, because Big Boss Bells is on his flying lap. Night Shadow's backed off, so I think he may have a lifeline thrown, because Big Boss Bells has exceeded track limits. And he's going to be out of qualifying his Big Boss Bells. He's left it too late. So Big Boss Bells will join Smalley, Sufdar and TK on the sidelines. So Night Shadow can breathe a huge sigh of relief. The drivers making it through on mediums, they are Liam, Argent, De Rudiger and Mikey. Everyone else in the top 10 will start the race on the soft compound unless the start of the race is wet. So Night Shadow in place of one of the Ferrari drivers. He's the sole Ferrari representative for this evening. He heads back to the pits now. As Don Argent's got through in 6th place. I suppose that's a sigh of relief actually for Smalley, because now he can start the race on, in a higher position than he probably had thought of at the beginning of Q2, in 11th position. So the drivers making it into, the drivers knocked out of qualifying at the end of Q2 are Smalley, Safdar, TK and Big Boss Bells. They all didn't set lap times, the other 10 did, and they'll make it into Q3. So 10 drivers in this last 12 minutes of qualifying going for pole position. You can see plenty of cars heading out on the circuit now. That we've got an AlphaTauri, we've got a Red Bull, we've got a Ferrari, we've got the other Red Bull as well. We've got a McLaren heading out. We should see the Alfa Romeo of Bowie as well. Or was that a Haas going out? That was a Haas actually. The Mercedes of Argent also entering the racetrack. And you can see the Williams of Mikey heading on the circuit now. Berry could just be waiting for a gap in the traffic before he makes his move. He won't want to leave it too late though. So Liam. Here he goes then. Starts his flying lap. Into turn one. It's nicely done through that. He's exceeded track limits, so we may as well come away from him. We'll go to Pimis, who's the next one behind. So 56.6 for Pimis by Sector 2. So he enters the baseball stadium now. Gets the card set into 13 rather nicely, actually. It was a tighter line than I thought it would take, if I'm honest with you. He still hooked it up nicely. And it's going to be a 1 minute 15.6 for Pimis. That's a decent lap time. What about Zach, his teammate? 1:15.8. And we've got a Ferrari of Night Shadow next, 1 minute 16.6. We've got Derudiger, who's exceeded track limits, so we may as well come away from him. Rome's Republic goes over the line. It's a 1 minute 15.7. He goes to the front row for now, at least. And Argent goes fastest with 1:14.9. So the first driver to break into the 1 minute 14s. Argent in prime position here to get that championship point that he so desperately needs to maximise his hopes of keeping the championship race alive with Smalley. Then Mike is going through the stadium section. Rides the curbs. Nice use of the curbs through there. So he goes over the line here, does Mikey, and he goes to the front row. So Mikey in P2 behind Argent. Now Liam is on a lap here as he aims to improve or get his first lap time on the board anyway. And he goes to the front row, 1:15.0 for him. I think Pimis improved his lap time to third on a 1:15.3. Zach's back in the pits. Night Shadow improves to 1:16.4. Derudiger in the McLaren. His lap time is good enough to put him on pole. So Argent, less than 800 of a second shy of the McLaren. Derudiger pulled that right out of the bag. I think Liam's going for another flying lap. Is already a 10th up from before by Sector 1. He's burnt up some fuel during the run, so he may have a chance actually seeing it. No, he won't actually, because he's exceeded track limits. So he will back off on this lap and make his way back into the pit lane. So both of the Haas cars in the pits. And now we can see the Red Bull of Zach heading back out on track on his other set of softs. We should be seeing Jack Berry coming out shortly. Not sure when he's going to do it. It may wait until the end of the session. But that was a great lap time there from Derudiger and Arjun as well, and Liam. So Berry is out on circuit now. The only driver yet to post a lap time. As Zach gets ready for what could be his last run. But we'll wait and see. He may decide to do a recon lap first before he goes for a flat out time. There's one of the Haasers coming out of the pits as well, so he needs to be wary of that. And Night Shadow decides that he's not going for another run. So 9th or lower is where he'll be by the end of quali. Oh, and Zach nearly threw it in the barrier. So I think they'll probably back out of it now, to be honest with you. So we go to Jack Berry next. Should we go to him? No, we'll go to Roman's Republic, because he's just started the flying lap before him. Will he get it right through turn 1, I wonder? Not a bad entry through there. Nice through 2. Turn 3 was okay, but he's gone way off track. And unbelievably, his lap time is still valid. Over a 10th up from before by Sector 1. So Rome's Republic, who achieved a podium finish last time out in Singapore. Or is that a glitch? It was a glitch, actually. Over the line, and he goes fourth with the lap he's just posted. And Berry goes up to 8th with a 1:15.8. I don't know whether he'll decide to back off on this lap, do a cool-down lap and go for a fast one at the end. Now, does Roman's Republic use the DRS here? He does so. Is his set to one time fast enough? I don't think it is. No, he's way off. So we'll go to Zach, whose lap time has been invalidated. So Leppy's the next one, trying to improve on his lap. What's he like through sector 2 here? He's over 2 tenths up from before, so he could displace Zach and Berry. So over 2 minutes to go. And Leppy over the line for Haas. It's a 1:15.7, and it's good enough to put him in 7th place ahead of Zach and Berry. Now is Rome's Republic going for one last effort here? Now he's going back to the pits. So 4th or lower is where he'll end up. And Leppy's backed off on his lap. He's got time to get round and do one more lap if he wants to do that. And now Liam, or Arjun I should say, has just started his final attempt in the Mercedes. Liam in the background has just started his last attempt, so we'll go to him after. So Arjun coming into sector 1, so 28.3 for him. So he's nearly 2 tenths up from before. And he needs to keep his car within the limits here. And he doesn't quite do that. So Don Arjun's not going to improve on his lap time. That's a bad dent, and he proceeds for pole position. Now, what about Liam? We didn't quite see what his sector 1 time was like, but through sector 2 looks decent. 600ths up by sector 2. He needs to find a bit more time though if he's to displace Arjun on the timing pages. So Liam going over the line now, and he stays 3rd. He did improve his time by 600ths, but not enough to move him onto the front row. Berry's on an improvement in the Alfa Romeo. Over the line he comes, and he goes 8th with a 1:15.7. The checker flag has come out now, so anyone on a flying lap can improve. So Rudiger, 600ths down from before by sector 2, so he's not improving at this moment in time. This lap of his does improve his time. It's a 1:14.8. He improved by half a tenth. Don Arjun is over a tenth up by sector 1 than before, though. So can he avoid the same mistake as last time and get his Mercedes onto pole position for the Mexican Grand Prix? Liam's trying to do the same as well. Just about kept his car within the track limits. What's his time like by sector 2? He's 2 tenths up from before as well. So it's game on for pole position here in Mexico City. Arjun rounding turn 16. Through 17. And over the line. Is this good enough for pole? It is for now. As we watch Liam, can he take pole position here in Mexico? Over the line he comes. And he goes to pole position, does Liam. So Liam on pole position for the first time in the Formula Racing League. He snatches it from Arjun by 300ths of a second. Rudiger over a tenth adrift of pole. He is 3rd on the grid, But what a lap time that Liam pulled out there in the end. So Liam on pole position for AlphaTauri, and it's Argent in second ahead of Derudiger and Rome's Republic on the second row, followed by Pimis and Mikey. Bowie and Leppy will make up row 4, followed by Zach and Night Shadow, running out your top 10. Smalley will start 11th on the grid, but at least he'll have a free choice of tyre to start the race on. The next 36 laps could decide the championship for Smalley. Will he do it? Can he finish in the top 4 to guarantee himself it? Find out in a few moments' time. So we should expect to see 16 drivers involved in this race. There may be 1 or 2 more joining. I don't think we are expecting any more than the 16 we have for this evening's Grand Prix in Tier 1. Now, if you are watching us and thinking, could I get involved in this? Well, you most certainly can, I should say. There is the Formula Racing League Discord channel. So do get in touch if you are wanting to be involved in it, and we can help you out with plans for either within the next couple of races to conclude the season or for the next championship of season 4. So do get involved if you are wishing to be involved in some sim racing on a Tuesday evening. So the drivers go off on their formation lap. So a rundown on who is lined up where. So Liam and Arjun on the front row with Derudiger and Rome's Republic alongside. And it's Pimis and Mikey on row 3. Then we've got Bowie and Leppy on the 4th row, followed by Zach and Night Shadow. Smalley and Sufdart are on row 6, followed by by TK and Big Boss Bells, with Liverpool Fun and Dan Murphy rounding off the 16 drivers competing in tonight's race. So the drivers started on the mediums are Liam, Argent, Derudiger, Mikey, Smalley, Sufdart, TK and Dan Murphy. The others are all on soft. So it's 50-50 actually between those starting on softs and those on the medium. So strategy is going to play a huge role in the outcome of today's Grand Prix. Well, with Liam on pole, which means there are now only 125 points left on the table. Smalley goes into this round 108 points clear, which means he now only needs to finish 5th to guarantee himself the title. His target is to go for the victory as well. I think he will finish in the top 5. Now, if Argent was to win the race and get the fastest lap, then Smalley would need to finish 5th to take the title. If Dan Murphy was to win the race and get the fastest lap, then Smalley would need to finish 5th, I believe, or is it 6th? I think it's 6th, actually, for Smalley to wrap up the championship. We'll go through the permutations during the course of this race, because so much could happen in the next 36 laps here at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. So Liam is on pole position with Argent alongside. Then we've got the McLaren of Derudiger and Roman's Republic in the Haas next up. Can Smalley blast his way through the field from 11th? And the same for Dan Murphy as well, another one of the championship contenders starting at the back of the field today. Here we go then for Tier 1 in the Formula Racing League, round 9 here in Mexico. Can the championship be decided today? The drivers await for the 5 red lights as they appear right now. When they go out, we'll be racing here in Mexico City. It's the lights out and away we go. Liam gets off the line very well, but not as good though for Don Argent, who's bogged down a little bit, and he's got the hassle of Roman's Republic. He's got the jump onto Rudiger at the start to go up into third place. So it's a huge long run down to turn one. Who's going to have the upper hand? Arjun diving to the inside, having a look. He's got the Red Bull of Pimis and the House of Roman's Republic. There's contact made, and Pimis is spun round in the Red Bull. Liam stays in the lead then for AlphaTauri. Then we've got John Arjun, who's going side by side there for a moment with Roman's Republic in the fight for second, but keeps P2 ahead of the Haas. It's Rudiger in fourth place ahead of Mikey, Bowie in sixth, Smolly up to seventh. Then we've got Leppy, TK and Night Shadow running out your top 10. And I've just seen Big Boss Bells has been given a drive-through penalty for jumping the start, so that's his race compromised already. So he'll have to take that drive-through. Next to Liam has spun off the track. So he's spun at the outside as Liam, so he's thrown the race lead all away, and he's fallen to the back of the field. And a damaged front wing for good measure. So that hands the lead to Don Arjun then, with Roman's Republic up to second and De Rudiger now third. Smolly up to sixth for Alpine. And Arjun coming round to complete lap one in the race lead, which is where he needs to be. He's got the point for the fastest up at the moment. This is all he can manage for the time being. But if Smolly finishes fifth or higher, that's the championship clinch for him. At the moment, Smolly is in sixth place. And Liam coming into the pits for AlphaTauri. He'll probably go onto the hard tyre, unless he decides to get the softs on. No, it is the hard tyre going on, so he's going to go for a long second stint. That's really bad luck for his race there. He'll have to hope for a safety car to get himself back into play. There's no DRS for the first 2 laps of this race, with Arjun continuing to lead out front, with Roman's Republic in P2. Then it's Rudiger, Mikey and Bowie doing very well up to 5th place for Alfa Romeo, but he's got the championship elect, or the champion elect I should say, of Smolly right on his tail. As they go through turn 12 and into the baseball stadium. And now they're all going to go through, exit through there. And we should expect to see Big Boss Bells coming in for a drive-through penalty, either at the end of this lap or the next. Zach is also coming into the pits. I see he had to come in together with someone, I wonder. I think he must do, because otherwise he wouldn't be coming in. And has he got a penalty there? No, he hasn't. But Big Boss Bells has carried on, actually, so he's going to wait until the last moment to decide to come in. Murphy getting in front of Night Shadow, by the looks of things, for 9th position. He should have the high ground. Oh, and Night Shadow's off the track. Night Shadow off the track in the Ferrari, and he's fallen down to 14th position. So we're on lap 3 of this race. Roman's Republic putting the Mercedes of Don Arjun under pressure, who locks up. Now, should Roman's Republic stay within DRS range, he may just get in front here, so it's important that Arjun can bridge out that 1 second margin to avoid being under threat by the DRS of Romans. Night Shadow has retired, he's crashed out, and that is his race over. So he's the first retirement of this Grand Prix. And Big Boss Bells will want to come into the pits now. He's got to, otherwise he will be disqualified from the race. You can see there Night Shadow crashed out on the exit of turn 11, and that is his race run. And we can see a change for the lead here as Roman's Republic and Arjun go side by side through turns 1 and 2. And Arjun is able to stay in front, but Roman's Republic is going to have the DRS though on the run down to turn 4. And Roman's Republic should surely take the lead here. Down the inside he goes. Arjun's still keeping his foot in it and keeps hold of the lead for now. Roman's Republic goes off track. Still going side by side through turn 6 there. Contact made between the Mercedes and the Haas. Roman's Republic down the inside. Still no contact made. And that's really fine racing there between those guys. Bowie's got in front now of Mikey, who's made a mistake somewhere. So he's fallen down to 6th position. Smolly right behind the Alfa Romeo. May get in front here before they get into turn 12. So Smolly right round the outside, and that's a very clean manoeuvre there from the Alpine driver. So he gets up into 4th position. Rudiger's been penalised for child limits, so that's 3 seconds for him, and that's the same for Mikey. So Rudiger up into 2nd place. Now he's got a shot of going for the lead here, because he's going to have the DRS all the way down towards turn 1. The DRS can be very effective here in Mexico City, and this is going to be a clean overtake here for De Rudiger to see him take the lead of the race. So De Rudiger in front, but for how long? But the good news for him is that he'll be able to use the DRS on this back straight to pull away from the Mercedes. And Zach has posted the new fastest lap, 1 minute 17.5. He's got clear track ahead of him, actually, in 14th position. Pimus going too deep there, and Softar's waiting to pounce. Now, I would say we're expecting the soft runners to be pitting at around lap 10 or 11. Those on the mediums, we should expect them to go to around, I'd say around about lap 16 or 17, and then go on to the hard tyre. So it's Don Argent in 2nd place. Should surely have the DRS behind De Rudiger. He begins to pull away, but Don Argent's not giving up though. Rear wing open. Can he get moved on into turn 1? Is he going to go to the left of the McLaren? He's into the slipstream. And Argent does go to the outside. Does he make the move stick? The answer is no. Mikey gets ahead of Bowie for 5th place. Murphy will be hoping to get through as well. There's TK losing out there to Murphy, who goes up to 8th. TK is still fighting back here. To the outside he goes. Murphy still hanging in there. But TK is surely going to get the move done here, and he does so. Contact made between the two, though. Murphy won't be too impressed with that. But it's racing sometimes. So Argent with the DRS still closing in behind De Rudiger. And Big Boss Valls with a new, well, I say he's got a track limits penalty actually as the Williams driver, as Argent looks to take the lead back here from De Rudiger with DRS, and he gets the job done before turn 1. So Argent needs to win this race to stand a chance on De Rudiger. Gets his 2nd track limits penalty of the race, and Murphy's able to fend off TK still. Contact made though by the Mercedes, and Murphy will be going side by side with him once again. But it's the Alfa Romeo who has the DRS this time. And Murphy will get through here. Pimus waiting to have a go on the Mercedes. He may do it into turn 6 if he's brave enough. But decides better of it. And De Rudiger opens the rear wing, and we could yet see another change of leader this time. It's a game of musical chairs at the moment, isn't it? So De Rudiger on the inside, and he takes back the lead of the race. Now De Rudiger's got 6-second time penalty at the moment, so he would not take the victory, but he's still got a long way to go yet. The last thing he wants as well is a safety car. So there's Pimis in 11th place ahead of Liverpool Fan. I think Pimis has just lost the position to Safdar, actually. So they all go through turn 6. Then through the S's. There's Murphy in 8th. And Liverpool Fan is the latest to be penalised for track limits. I wonder when the soft compound runners will begin to come in. I'm just looking at Romans Republic because he's under threat actually now from Smalley. He's carrying his way through the field as Leppy's now coming in. So Leppy the first of those to make a schedule after 8 laps. Medium tyres going on the Haas. And Pimis is also in for Red Bull. He's gone onto the mediums as well. So Leppy rejoins ahead of the Red Bull of Zach. Pimis rejoins in 14th place. So Leppy's got a bit of clear track ahead of him at the moment. 3 seconds adrift of Big Boss Bells, who has yet to pit in this race for a change of tyres. Mikey gets his second penalty of the race. 6 seconds he's on now. So he's got his work cut out to remain in the top 10. So, will Romans Republic decide to pit in at the end of this lap, I wonder? He may decide not to yet. Arjun losing it. Coming out of the right-hander. He's conserving ERS, in fact he's out of the ERS. He's still able to use the DRS though, but he'll have to still remain behind the McLaren for now. So there's no way he's going to get through from there. Now he's right behind the McLaren. He's still too far back. So Liverpool Fan in 10th place. And someone's gone off and Zach's in the wall and he's out of the race. And we have a safety car now, which is good news for those who are at the back of the field, but not so for De Rudiger. Now, it's good news for Romans Republic because now he can get rid of those soft tyres and go after the leaders here. But it just depends what the leaders decide to do. So they may have to be playing some mind games here. Arjun also decides to pit in. Smalley pits in as well. Mikey gets penalised, I think, for speeding in the pit lane. He did say, yeah. So everyone's in, but the bad news for Alfa Romeo is that Murphy's right behind Berry, so he's going to lose out here. And De Rudiger's gone back out on another set of soft tyres. And that pit stop there for Murphy has cost him dear. He's now down to... Oh, where's he down to? He's down to 12th place now, behind Pimis. So Pimis is able to get ahead of him here, I think. Or does he? No, he does get in front of him. So Murphy has to slot in behind the Red Bull. Big Boss Bells rejoins in 13th. Liam is still on the hard compound tyres. He's going to go for a longer stint here, although he may decide to pit in for mediums because he's now back in play now. Well, he's back in play, I should say. So the safety car takes the field through the S's. Big Boss Bells and Liam catching up to the rest of the pack. So 2 drivers out of the Grand Prix now, Zach and Shadow on the sidelines. 14 still running, 7 of which have got time penalties. Rudiger's got 6, Romans Republic, Leppy, Liverpool Fan, Pimis and Big Boss Bells have got 3. And Mikey's got 11. Now, as it stands with the order as it is, Smalley will be crowned champion today. And the safety car will be peeling into the pits at the end of this lap, no problem. So De Rudiger in the lead, but he's got the tyre advantage at the moment. He's only been on... I was always going to say he's only been on the soft component. He's actually got through on the medium, so I think the plan for him is to go medium, soft, medium. Or he could go to another set of the soft compound later on if he wanted to do that. But he will need to be rather conservative with his tyres, though. So the safety car is coming in, and De Rudiger is ready to go right now. He's gone early. Very early, in fact. So the safety car is in, and the race is back on. So De Rudiger out in the lead. No DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart, so this is his golden opportunity to pull out of DRS range and pull out that margin, which he so desperately needs in order to give himself the best chance of going for the race win. It's doubtful that Arjun and Smalley will go to the end on the tyres that they are on, but it is possible. As Pimis and Liverpool Fan dice over 10th place here. And Murphy gets through. And further ahead we can see Safdar and Leppy fighting over 8th. And TK fighting it out with Bury over 6th position. And then they head through the S's here. And multiple drivers getting penalised. Liam's been penalised as well. TK looks to have also been given a penalty for track limits. And TK goes past Bury. Now at least, but Bury's fighting back here. So Softar's right behind these two. And Mikey gets for 4th place. Or Roman's probably just got back ahead of him, actually. So we're on the 2nd lap of the restart, so there's no DRS yet. So the drivers begin the 15th lap of this race. There's 22 to go. Safdar has just got in front of Bury for 7th place. Safdar on the soft tyres, Bury on the mediums. Liam trying to get ahead of Big Boss Bells as well. He's right at the back of the queue here. Big Boss Bells makes a mistake on the exit of turn 3, and that's going to give Liam the opportunity to pull alongside, and this should be 13th place going to the AlphaTauri. Murphy's out of the race. I don't know how he's managed to do that, but he's pulled off the track. He's had a coming together with Leppy, and that's brought out the second safety car of this race. So Murphy is now out of championship contention with that non-finish, and the safety car has been deployed. Now, if you're De Rudiger, what do you do? He did not want this safety car. So how many drivers? I expect Liam to go into the pit. So De Rudiger's coming in for tyres. Arjun decides to stay out, as does Smalley. Mikey likewise. I think Safdar will choose to come in for Ferrari. In fact, no, he doesn't. Pimis does, though. As does Liam. As does Big Boss Bells, and most certainly Leppy as well, because he's got damage to his car. So De Rudiger rejoins in 9th place then behind his teammate. Medium size going on Liam's car. Rejoins behind Pimis. I don't know how that incident happened there between Leppy and Murphy. They must have come together. Just force Leppy into the pits. And he exits now. So Arjun's in the race lead. In 2nd place is Smalley. Mikey's 3rd. Romans Republic 4th, and it's TK, Safdar and Bowie. Little Fun is 8th. Now, the driver with the fastest up of the race so far, well, Zach's got that, but he's out of the race. But imagine that the fastest up will get switched around. I think De Rudiger's just been penalised again, you know. He has. It's 9 seconds for him. That is a really bad dent in his race. I mean, he didn't want to say either the safety car periods, and he didn't need that penalty either. So it's not going to plan for him at the moment. So Arjun leads behind the safety car with Smalley in 2nd. 2nd would be good enough for Smalley to take the title, more than enough. He only needs to finish in the top 5 now. And he's got a great chance to do that, because drivers behind him, most of them in fact, have got time penalties. He doesn't have a penalty at all. And the Liverpool fan is being penalised as well for ignoring yellow flags, so that's another dent to his race. And the safety car will be going at the end of this lap. And the safety car coming in at the end of this lap. So 13 still running in this race. When will Don Argent decide to pull clear here? He decides to go now, I believe. And we're away again here in Mexico. 19 laps remaining. You can see TK making a move on Romans Republic. Safdar likewise. Safdar is on the soft compound tyres. He could make a move on the pair of them here. Side by side into turn 1, and Sufdar gets up to 4th place by the looks of it. He's done it. So Sufdar through on ahead on the restart. Liam gets another penalty for chat limits. The penalties keep on increasing at the moment, up and down the field. So Arjun leads the field with Smolly in second, Mikey in third, with Sufdar behind in 4th position. Mikey has an 11-second time penalty. We expect him to take 5 seconds of that at his next pit stop. There's sort of 6 seconds worth of time penalties. De Rudiger makes a move on Bowie. De Rudiger is on fresher tyres than the Alfa Romeo. And he goes up to 7th place as we watch Rome's Republic run wide whilst defending from the Mercedes. And he's lost out there to TK. So Republic down to 6th position. Smolly getting a really bad exit coming out of 6th. Got the power down too much. Liam's up to 9th place now in the AlphaTauri, so he's fighting his way back through the field. Smolly still within a second of Argent. The DRS is now enabled. Drivers can't use it at this point because of the detection point that comes before the end of the lap. So we'll have to wait until they go past turn 11 to use the DRS, providing they are within a second of the car ahead at the detection point prior to the activation zone. Here we go then, lap 20. There's Mikey in third, Sufdar behind in 4th position. Argent protects his lead for now, but Smolly's going to have the DRS on the start-finish straight. Will Argent be able to defend this one? I'm not sure if he's going to be able to, because Smolly is now into the slipstream as they go under the bridge. Argent will go defensive, Smolly will go to the outside as they head into turn 1. Who is going to have the upper hand on this occasion? Argent stays in front for now, but Smolly's going to have the DRS before they get to turn 4. DRS is open now, and Smolly should take the lead here. He goes to the inside of Argent before they get to turn 4, and Smolly isn't into the lead yet. Argent still going side by side with the Alpine. Argent stays in front for now, but Smolly will be coming back for more after this one as they head through the S's. So Smolly behind Argent as the pair cross over the line now to begin the 22nd lap. We've got 15 laps remaining. And imagine that Mikey, Softar and TK will be coming into the pit soon. Here goes Smalley then. Arjun with no defence whatsoever allows Smalley to take the lead of the race. And the Brit is a step closer towards the championship. Someone's gone off at turn 1. Oh, that's Arjun. So Arjun's gone off at turn 1. He's had a spin. I don't know if he caught the curb or whether he made contact with the Alpine. I don't think he made contact with the Alpine. But he spun round at turn 1 and he's fallen down to 7th position. So Mikey's now up to 2nd place. And crucially for Smalley, he's now out of DRS territory. And Mikey gets another penalty now. Just goes from bad to worse for him, doesn't it? And Big Boss Bells and Pimis fighting over 11th position. Big Boss Bells having a really bad day at the moment. He's already got 6 seconds worth. He's not even inside the top 10 right now. And Mikey conserving energy there. Softar will just go to the inside and breeze through, and up to 2nd place he goes. Does the Ferrari. And I think TK will be on the tail of Mikey very shortly. So Softar's able to pull away. Because he's still at the... Well, he's got the DRS because of the detection point for the 2 DRS zones to turn 1 and turn 4. That's by the detection point of turn 15. So can Softar challenge Smalley for the race victory? It's doubtful because his soft tyres will be beginning to fall away now. I think Smalley will be able to go to the end on his, although his tyres are going to be very old as well. And Softar clipped the wall there as he exited turn 15. I think he got away with it. But he's darted into the pit lane for another set of tyres. So is this going to be softs going on? Or will it be mediums? It's another set of softs. So Softar will rejoin at the back of the field. But he'll be on fresher tyres than the rest. Now here's Rudiger, who's in 4th place now. As Argent tries to get back in the action here and pass Rowan's Republic for 5th place, but he's too far back to do it from there. There's no way he'll get him into turn 4. Big Boss Bowles and Liverpool fan fighting over 9th place, and Berry's just in front of him. I think Liverpool fans just lost 2 positions on the pit straight, and he's fallen down to 10th place. So Softar should be setting fastest laps when he comes round to doing that. The fastest lap is currently held by Zach still, but he's out of the race. Arjun gets a penalty now for track limits, which means only Smalley and Bowie do not have a time penalty at all. TK still holding off to Rudiger at the moment. He's not coming into the pits in this lap, so he's going to stay out there for the time being. He's going to defend from De Rudiger here, who's going to have DRS. I think De Rudiger's going to get past TK here for 3rd place. And I'm not sure if Mike's going to fend this one off, you know. So he's passed by the McLaren into turn 1. So De Rudiger makes contact with the Williams. The 2 are still fighting. TK looks to get through as well, and he goes past. So Mikey behind the pair of them in 4th place now. So Softar in 13th position behind Leppy, who's on the hard compound. Softar on fresh softs. So Smalley continues to lead as De Rudiger gets another penalty. 12 seconds he's got now. So he's going to fall down the the order a lot by the time this race is over. I've just realised Safdar does not have a penalty at all to his name, so he's going to benefit a lot, actually, from those who have penalties. Smalley comes into the pit for his final pit stop. I'd imagine he'll go onto a set of softs. I wonder if this is reaction to Safdar, who went onto the softs earlier, and he's setting some blistering pace at the moment. So Smalley exits his box now. Where is Safdar? Just seen TK's in the pits. Mikey's also in the pits. And I think Safdar may just get in front of Smalley here. Or does Smalley get out in front? I think Smalley just gets out in front, you know, on Safdar. And Smalley keeps his nose in front of the Ferrari. That is crucial for Smalley, is that. And Safdar now penalised for track limits. That will make Smalley's life a little bit easier. So Bowie in 6th place. And looking at the penalties at the moment, as it stands, it's Arjun who would take the victory. And I think Arjun is going to just go to the end of the race on the tyres that he's on at the moment. I think De Rudiger doesn't have a choice at the moment in terms of his strategy. He'll have to go to the end and hope everyone else gets more penalties. And TK's out of the race in the Mercedes. 4th car out, and the safety car's been deployed. And De Rudiger's just pitted at the right time, you know, just as the safety car was coming out. And TK is the 4th driver to be eliminated from this event. Now, what about all the drivers who are coming in? In fact, most of them coming in. And Pires has been penalised for speeding under the safety car, so he will be going into the pits after the safety car period to take a drive-through penalty. So Smalley's into the race lead again. Safdar is now 2nd. De Rudiger is 3rd. He's got a 12-second time penalty at the moment, all of which have been track limits. All for track limits, in fact. So Mikey just needs to be careful he doesn't exceed the delta here. So safety car number 3 of this evening. So Safdar is on 2 lap hold softs. Smalley, he is in 4th, Romans Republic 5th, Liam 6th, Mikey, who I think is out of soft tyres now, is in 7th. Big Boss Bell's 8th, Bowie 9th. If he can keep himself penalty free between now and the end of the race, I'd reckon he'll move up quite a number of positions. But we'll wait and see. So TK joins Murphy, Zach and Shadow on the sidelines. 12 are still going. And as it stands, as far as the championship is concerned, Smalley will be champion. Already a race winner 4 times this season. 3 of them being in the last 3 races. Is this going to be a 4th consecutive victory for him? De Rudiger trying to get in front of Safdar there. I don't know what that is about. As Mikey comes into the pits for soft compound tyres. Now, I'm not sure what's happening here because Safdar seems to be slowing down. It doesn't look like it's a glitch. Has he had a coming together with someone, I wonder? He's falling down to 5th place, which is interesting. So Mikey rejoins the race at the back, but at least he'll be on fresher tyres than those ahead. Well, Arjun will be moving up to 2nd in the championship as it stands as well. And Romans Republic will be moving up to 3rd. There's quite a battle going on there for 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship. And so the safety car will be going in at the end of this lap. So Smalley will slow the field down, and he'll go when he's ready to do so. He needs to be careful though, he doesn't make contact with any of the drivers or brake test or anything like that. But we're back underway then, and Arjan's being penalised for a collision with Rudiger. So that's another 5 seconds for him. Now then, so Rudiger needs to get on with it here. He's got a 12-second time penalty to his name. Made that 17 in fact because of the collision he had with Arjan. He may dispute that after, but not during the race. And Smalley now penalised for chat limits. So that throws a lifeline to those behind. So we've got 8 laps to the finish here. No DRS for the first 2 laps of the restart. Mikey moves ahead of Liverpool fan into 10th. And Smalley with a new fastest lap of the race. Even with the penalty he has, he's still on course to take the victory. And Pimis comes in to serve his drive-through penalty now. He'll be hoping for another safety car. And De Rudiger now ahead of Arjan into second place, although they were fighting over second. So De Rudiger was able to stay in front. Now De Rudiger will not be keeping his second place. I think as it stands, he's going to fall well down the order. So he needs to build out a margin if he can, or just stay in touch with Smalley. You can see at the back there, there's the Williams of Big Boss Bells fighting with Liam over 6th place. Safdar is in there as well, in 5th. Now Safdar could be going to the podium as it stands. He's going to be under threat with the DRS. Well, it's been enabled now, but the drivers won't be using it on the pit straight at this moment. It'll be the next time around. Pimis will just be putting in some qualifying laps now, I'd imagine. Given where he is at the moment in the Red Bull. And Rudiger gets another penalty, as does Liam. So De Rudiger's now on 20 seconds worth of time penalty. It's not getting any better for him at the moment. His chances of a podium are pretty much gone. And De Rudiger goes into the pit lane. And I think this is going to be a retirement for him. He's clearly had enough. So Rudiger is another driver to leave the race. And that takes us down to 11. And you can see a move there from Liam passing Safdar. This is a brilliant comeback drive from Liam. Next up is Rome's Republic, who's on 6 seconds worth of time penalty. Big Boss Bells gets another penalty as well for track limits. So he's going to fall behind Bowie as it stands. So Jack will want to get on with this actually and start closing in on a few of these guys. The yellow flag is for De Rudiger just leaving the race. And Leppy's gone as well. So Leppy's out of the race in the Haas, and we've got another safety car. So a fourth safety car in this Grand Prix. Oh, he's lost it. Binned it big time there into the barrier on the exit of turn 4. So that has thrown Pimis another lifeline in this chaotic race. Now, if you're at the back of the field, you may as well take a gamble and get another set of soft tyres on. I wonder who's prepared to do that. Romans Republic and Liam are not doing that. Jack not quite doing that. Liverpool fan most certainly is going to be taking the gamble, as is Soft Dart. And Safdar with front wing damage, that could well explain the contact he had earlier in the last safety car period. There he goes then. He's behind Pimis in 10th now. So just 10 drivers left in this race. We're on that 33, 4 laps remaining. Not sure how long the safety car is going to remain out there for. It may just be for this lap, but if so, there'll be no we still have one more lap of DRS, but if it stays out for another lap, we won't have DRS at all. It's just going to be a mad sprint to the finish. Smolly knows that the championship is ever so close. I'll tell you one man who could be on the podium today, and that's Bowie in 6th place on the road. Yeah, I think the safety car is going to stay out there for one more lap. Now, if it's going to stay out there for one more lap, will that prompt some of the drivers to come in and get a set of soft tyres on? We know Pimis, Liverpool fan and Softar have already been in. And looks like Mike is taking the opportunity to do that. He'll fall to the back, but at least he'll be on some nice fresh rubber. We expect that to be the last pit stop of the race now. So Mikey in 10th place now on the road. In fact, Pimis is still on the mediums, in fact. I'm surprised he didn't go in the pits and get another set of softs on, to be quite honest. We're in for a nail-biting finish to this Grand Prix now. And still so much can change, especially with the penalties. And depending on what happens with Smalley, Jack Berry could be in genuine contention to win this race. He really, really could be. Don Argent just needs to go for it here. The safety car in at the end of this lap. So the remaining 10 drivers raring to go for this 2-lap shootout. Here we go then, the safety car. It's just going through the last right-handers. Here we go then. Smalley leads on the... Oh, Argent spun! Argent has spun on the restart. He's thrown it all away from second. Pushing too hard on the exit of the last turn. And Smalley's got a huge break now in going for the victory. Argent has fallen to the back of the field and has called it a day. And with that, Smalley is crowned champion of the Formula Racing League. Even before the race is even done. Lesson not racing, Argent out, Murphy out. And Smalley will not be denied whatever happens. He still wants to win this race, though. He just needs to pull out a 3-second margin on Jack Berry, who's in 5th place now. And the victory will be his. Just needs to keep the car on the circuit, though. He's getting penalised again. And there's Liam in 3rd place still, on the road anyway. But he won't be keeping that. There's no DRS. As we are now on the last lap of this race. Smolly, nearly 3 seconds out in front. And that's Safdar. Not sure what's happened to him. Has he reset back onto the track? I think he has. So that'll be a penalty coming his way if he has done so. Here's Liverpool fan fighting with Pimis over 6th place on the road. Liverpool fan going to the outside. And that's an excellent overtake there from the McLaren to put himself up into the top 6. Next up is Berry, who's another 7/10 clear of him. Don't think Liverpool fans can have enough time to pass him, to be quite honest with you. Now, who's that that's spun? That is Safdar, who's just going around having donuts, to be honest with you, which is against the rules. You're not supposed to be making donuts like that during the race. So Safdar will finish 9th and will be under investigation for poor driving standards. Yeah, he's still doing that. We'll go back to the leader, though, as Smalley, as we watch Liam trying to make a move on Roman's Republic. But here's Smalley. The confetti is being blown out in the air. There it is. Smalley is going to come round to win the Mexican Grand Prix and is a 2-time Formula Racing League champion of the world. See the drivers over the line, and Jack Berry is on the podium for Alfa Romeo. 2nd place for him. That's his best result of the season by far. Look at the celebrations from him. But Smalley is the champion of Season 3 in the Formula Racing League. Congratulations to him and to Alpine. The drivers celebrate on the podium. Smalley will be delighted with his victory and race win from 11th on the grid. That helps him clinch the championship. Berry 2nd, and on the podium with them is Roman's Republic. So your final race result after what's been an unbelievable Grand Prix. Smalley wins and is crowned champion. Jack Berry 2nd ahead of Roman's Republic. Liverpool fan 4th for McLaren. Liam 5th, Big Boss Bell 6th. Pimis is 7th ahead of Mikey. Safdar retired on the last lap, is classified in 9th and will be under investigation for poor driving standards. Don Archin retired also in the pits, but collects the points as he completed enough laps. Leppy retired, as did De Rudiger, TK, Dan Murphy, Zach and Shadow also didn't make it to the end. Well, Smalley is crowned champion. Fantastic job he's done all season. 5 wins already, and we've still got 2 more rounds to come. Azerbaijan next week, and then Portugal for the season finale. Cannot wait for those 2 rounds. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. And we can't wait to do it all over again this time next week, 8 PM British Summer Time on Tuesday, the 12th of October. He will come out on top in Baku. I'm Tom Cairns, and I'll speak to you again soon when the Formula Racing League returns.